Welcome to Transmissions, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers. On this episode, it would appear that we're getting a Legends Scale Raiden figure. Is this the end of Core Class? Who are you calling a road pig? Today is Wednesday, June 26th, 2024, and this is episode 596 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that would rather watch bad Headmaster dubs than watch the dumpster fire that is the presidential debate tomorrow. Can both sides lose? I'm your host, Jeremy, aka Yakko, and with me is Scott, the illustrious Dr. Pants.
Can I just watch the subs? I don't want to watch the dubs. I want to watch the subs. Hello, everyone.
The subs are superior.
Depends. I'm not getting into that debate in this episode.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
I'm going to assume that we're the excellent Transmissions team. You didn't mention that, but I'm going to assume that we are.
Yes, we are.
But yes, I am also here. Let's talk Transformers.
All right. Yes, let's. And as always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, and we are thanking a new Donatreon, especially this week. Lee joined us, and I want to thank Lee for joining the crew. And if you would like to join Lee, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support and have all the information on how to support us on Patreon or PayPal. If you do support us on Patreon, make sure you link your Discord and join us in the Discord. There's lots of fun in there. And if you are a member of our Donatreons like Lee, you can get access to lots of exclusive shows, such as We Like Big Bots, which has a 13th episode out now. And We Like Big Bots is hosted by Daryl and Dr. Pants. So would you guys like to talk about this 13th episode?
I've talked about it quite a bit. Dr. Pants, why don't you jump in on this? What did we talk about in episode 13?
Well, I'll be honest, Daryl, I wouldn't have remembered if it wasn't in the doc. So thankfully someone had the foresight to put it in there. But that was the episode we talked about Ultra Magnus. We went from G1 all the way up to the current. So if you want to see Daryl and I showing off our Ultra Magni and talking about them, become a Donatreon. And if you already are, go watch it. Apparently you all demanded we keep doing this.
Mm-hmm. It was a fun episode. We had a good time.
That was me.
Yeah, I mean, even if people didn't demand it, we would tell you people are demanding it. And Charles is not on the show tonight. He is somewhere en route to someplace, and
he is
sitting, waiting.
He's still calling the shots. He still appears to be calling the shots from wherever he is. So, yes.
No, in all fairness, We Like Big Box is a lot of fun to do because it does give Daryl and I just the chance to talk about big robots, which we do love.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good.
And then also we have Empire of Rust, our Transformers live play RPG podcast hosted by our awesome editor, Mike. Season 3 is continuing, and the bonus uncut episode of 118 is out for Donatreons now. And the regular edited version of this will be out next week on July 1st as a birthday present to me, I guess. Or that could just be the regularly scheduled day. Anyway, if you want to get these Empire of Rust episodes, all the finely polished and bespoke versions, you can go to transmissionspodcast.com/rust. And if you want to get all the behind the scenes cutting room floor stuff, you can get those on our Donatreon or on our Patreon page. And and we still have copies of our Transformers #1 from Skybound with artwork by EJ Sue. This is available at transmissionspodcast.com/comic. And it'll also be in like Daryl and Charles's hands at TFCon Chicago or TFCon Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So
have lots of copies there.
Yeah. So if you run into Charles and Daryl, just shove some money in their face and you might get a comic. Or you might not. Maybe you need to make your intentions known before throwing money at them.
I'll be there
place
too.
Place an order on the website.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right. Yeah. You can also place an order, say TFCon pickup, and then they will hunt you out.
We'd hate to mistake your TFCon, intentions for something other than a comic purchase.
Right.
You can also throw money at me. I won't have any comics, but you can throw money at me.
Scott will take your money and give you something in return, but it won't be a comic.
Right. All right. Let's move on. Finally, we have.
Yes. Oh,
yes.
This is going to be the point. The point of my show tonight is to make Jeremy uncomfortable.
It happened before we hit the live stream button. All right. So toyhacks.com, we want to thank them again for supporting us. You can get 15% off at Toy Hacks on anything in the month of June using the code DADBOTS. And this code can be used with RoboPoints, but cannot be used or combined with other discounts or promotions. It can be used with your gift codes if you happen to get one of our $10 gift codes that Toy Hacks gives us to give away every month. But again, the code is DADBOTS, and get a bunch of toys at TFCon, or plan for your toys. Go ahead and pre-buy all your stickers.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've never bought Toy Hacks before, they make a quality product.
They do.
It tends to be better than the stickers that come with the actual figures.
Yeah. If you get a G1 toy, like a box G1 toy, and you want to open it, leave the stickers in there. Buy a Toy Hack set.
Mm-hmm.
I just got a.
Hold on.
I just got a set to redo my G1 reissue Soundwave, because the stickers that came with it were absolute garbage, and the Toy Hacks labels were fantastic. And now he looks right. None of them are peeling.
Nice. We still have no information whether or not Toy Hacks is going to be at TFCon Toronto. They have made appearances, in the past, not in the more recent past, but it would be very cool if they were there this year, because you can get a whole bunch of stuff, and you don't have to pay shipping on it, which is great.
It's always awesome seeing them there. You can just like thumb through all the different ones and see what you want.
Yep. Yeah, it's great.
All right. Well, that is all of the required stuff that Charles makes us go through every time. So let's get on to some toy news.
All right. And up first this week, we are going to talk about a couple little figures here. These are Night Train and Snowfield from SiYang Culture. These are Legends Scale Trainbots of Getsuei and Yukikaze. I think I did okay on those name pronunciations, but we'll see. Anyway, they are members of the Raiden Combiner, and they're Legend Scale. And like we said in the intro, it's looking very much like we're getting a Legend Scale Raiden figure, and this is very cool. These are very reminiscent of the Moon Studios design. So if you're familiar with the two larger, one's masterpiece scale, like the Moon Studios masterpiece scale, and then the actual masterpiece is more chug scale. So it's this one looks a lot more like the Moon Studio designs, only much smaller. So this is something that is really giving off that Moon Studio design. And if you're interested in something like this, take a look. They are really cool. They're really cute little train designs, or train figures, and looks like they're going to combine into a giant train robot. Awesome.
How is it possible, by the way, that these Legend Scale figures look better than the official MPG ones in robot mode and combined mode, and also have a better train mode than the Moon Studios one that look better and more to scale? How do they do it?
That's a great question. I don't know. It's these guys are magicians. These designers, they are magicians.
Yeah. Wouldn't the combined mode be about like Voyager size, I guess?
I would assume so. Yeah. I mean, I have the Moon Studio one right behind me here. And, I mean, as if this thing keeps to scale, if everything kind of goes to scale, then I guess it would probably end up to being about Voyager size, maybe a little bigger.
I'm actually like basing on how big these figures look, like the legs and everything, and knowing it's a 6-figure combiner. I would not be surprised if it comes close to being like a Combiner Wars size scale.
You think it could be that big?
Like honestly, the size of the individual bots does not look as small as I would assume with a lot of Legends figures. They look a little bit bigger, and I don't know. Like when they showed the leg mode, like that's not that tiny. Like it might be just a hair under like a Combiner Wars size combiner. Granted, they're pretty small anyway in the grand scheme of combiners. So
I don't know. I mean, you can see the person's hand, and it seems a little bit smaller than the Combiner Wars Deluxes.
Yeah, but also keep in mind that like looking at that leg, like that's just the bottom part of the leg. Like there is another one that forms the the upper thigh and everything there. So I don't know. I'd wait and see because Raiden's a pretty big combiner to begin with. But
yeah. So we have no real information yet on size. I mean, you can kind of hazard a guess by looking at these pictures. But we have no price or release date yet. I'm going to guess just from looking at the pictures that these are going to be released in 3 packs of 2, seeing as we're looking at a single pack of 2 of them right here. But other than that, I really have no kind of speculation on these figures. They look great. I'm assuming they're in. Again, I'm going to assume they're in kind of color prototype because they're really. They don't 100% look finished. But other than that, I really am interested. I'm probably on board with this. It's all aboard. All right, I'm done.
All right. I'm next, and we have a possible first look at another Star Raider figure. So the Star Raiders are the Walmart exclusive set that are all the pirates, and apparently in the Legacy Star Raider lockdown instructions, it shows pieces being pulled off because he is, of course, a repaint of Scrap Hook. We can see him being placed on Star Raider Road Pig, a character we have not seen or heard about yet. So it looks like it is a repaint of Crash Bar, which was one of the wreckers from Legacy Evolution. And for those unfamiliar, Road Pig was a G2 laser cycle. So not surprising we see another one done because I believe they did one in the G2 collection at Walmart. I think they did the Jazz laser cycle, which was like lime green one. Yeah. But it's hard to see what they've redone on this because it just shows it in motorcycle mode. It does look like on the fuel tank part there in the front that it looks like there's some deco on the side that wasn't on Crash Bar, but I don't know. Still cool. So that means that we're probably looking at a wave 2 of the Star Raiders and more of the Junkion style break apart combiner weaponizer dealios, which is very cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing all the Star Raiders. I like the pirate theme. So the last thing we have here in Quick Hits is from JT Prime 17, who's the leaker extraordinaire. That, I mean, we've talked about on the animation side, Earthspark is likely ending with the 2nd season. But on the toy side, JT Prime 17 is saying the replacement line, the first wave of that has been solicited to retailers. So we have no other details than that. But looks like we will be getting a new show soon and a toy line to accompany it. I think the timing for Earthspark between the toys and the show was off some. I think we had the toys either well in advance or well after Like they weren't lined up good. And I know BotBots was also like way off. So hopefully these are more lined up with when the show comes out, the toys are readily available.
I just want to say, with regards to the show itself, access to the show has been horrendous.
Yeah.
Right. The only way that I have been able to watch this show is to pirate it. And I generally don't like to come right out and fully admit that I do that, but I do. But to find this show and get access to it, I have had to download every single episode. Right. And it's ridiculous, right? You want to have a show, give it, get as many eyes on it as possible, right? Why make it incredibly difficult for your audience to find it? So, yeah, the toy aspect of it, I understand that they're very good figures, but it's just the timing is just like Jeremy said, has been off, and it's just unfortunate.
Yeah. So I imagine this fall we'll be getting more information as the new toy announcements come. So we'll have to see.
Wild speculation time. The next toy line, Skybound.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, that wouldn't go
Big
along
swing.
with the show.
It's a big swing. A toy line based on the comic.
We know that we're getting some Void Rivals figures in like 2 years, I think.
Okay. Hear me out. There's going to be an Optimus Prime, a Bumblebee, a Megatron, and possibly a Starscream.
No.
Oh my God.
Come on.
You're crazy.
If I'm going to throw a wild take out there, I'd love them to go back to something like they did with the Unicron trilogy and just kind of blow our minds and not just be like another, oh, look, it's kind of G1-esque.
Right.
Unfortunately, that is not going to happen in this day and age.
I know. It makes me mad.
The best thing you're going to get is something that we just saw with Earthspark, is where it's tangentially, attached to G1, right? Or I mean, G1, yeah,
generation.
Yeah. So you've got your G1 characters, and then there's like, oh, there's a new guy, right?
Yeah, I know.
That kind of thing.
I know.
So
you know what?
That's we're gonna get.
Just dub Beast Wars 2nd and make that the next show.
This would never happen, but what I would like is a multiverse show where like your protagonist is going through all the different older shows.
Oh, that'd be so much fun.
And then they go to some of the Japanese one and they don't understand a word that any of the characters are saying.
I like that. That would be fun.
It never happened. But
tie it then into Legacy.
Yeah. That would be the Legacy United show. That would never happen.
Yeah.
That would be a really fun show.
Yeah.
And one of them would be the Headmasters show, where it's all like dubbed weird and like, what are you talking about? Billy? Who the fuck is Billy?
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all our quick hits. So let's get into a discussion topic.
All right. And this week we are going to talk a bit about core class. So we are going to be seemingly losing core class. And that is, well, we're going to talk about it. So the story reads that with all the listings and the leaks that we got a few weeks back, a lot of people went through them and noticed there was no core class listings. So as Jeremy mentioned, leaker extraordinaire. I don't know if I'd really want that kind of title.
They're retiring. So.
Right, but to be known as a leaker extraordinaire. JT Prime 17 did go and they basically kind of confirmed, as much as you can confirm a rumor, is that the core class price point is coming to an end, and there's nothing going to be taking its spot. The reasoning for this is that the price point hasn't been performing very well. And if you've been in a store, you understand that, yeah, these little stinking boxes are just kind of sitting there, and there's a billion of them, and they're all the same figure. Or you've tried to find that one figure that you've been looking for, and it's never there. Cough the, Studio Series tapes, right? Where the hell are they? So the core class is not doing very well, and they're going to pull it. That if you are a fan of the core class stuff, though, there's still going to be some stuff produced in that size class, but it's going to be part of those larger, 3, 4, 5 figure deals. So you'll still be able to get those figures, just not on their own. So what I wanted to do, this week is kind of have a chat about core class. We all buy a lot of figures. What's our feeling on core class? Do we, are we going to miss it? Let's just kind of go around the table I'll start with us with Dr. Pants. What do you think about core class and the current iteration, where it kind of came from, and do you think it's a good move to get rid of it?
Okay. Number one, I'd like to say that I actually really like the core class figures. I've bought quite a few of them, and I think there's only been one that I was like, I don't like this. And that was it Bomb Burst? Like bat-like pretender,
Sure.
turns into Blue Jet. Yeah, Bomb Burst.
Okay.
Was not a big fan of that figure. Granted, it was still Bomb Burst, and if you're going to re-release a pretender, I'm going to buy it. But every other core class figure has been kind of cool, and the engineering behind them has been really interesting. I think the big issue is it never found its own footing, because half the figures are figures that I would expect to be tiny. We got the Studio Series A6 Rumble, we got Spike, we got the Ravage tape from the Bumblebee movie, the 2 Target Mastery figures that went with Scourge from Rise of the Beast, and RC from Rise of the Beast. Like, there's a couple of figures that fit in there, but then you have just a bunch of characters thrown in there who are like, we're gonna put them in here. Like, recently we've gotten Beast Machine's Cheetor and Energon Megatron, which I'm like, why are these core class? Especially when we're in an era of Transformers where it seems like scale is important. Because anymore people will say, a size like Deluxe, Voyager, and Leader aren't size classes, they're price points. It's about what you get with them, and we're trying to keep everything to a scale, particularly like the Studio Series. But yet they're putting out Optimus Prime, Starscream, Megatron. There's been 2 Bumblebee movie Shockwaves, one of which was a core class figure.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? That's not to scale. So I think the problem is one, that they can't find their footing with it. They don't know what to do with it, because they have some figures that fit in there perfectly, and other figures are just like, we're going to throw it in. That being said, the core class Optimus Prime was really good. The core class Soundwave is awesome, aside from the little feet sticking up, but otherwise, like, it was really cool. Came with the tape and everything. They're only like $10, and they're really cool fidget toys. And when we get to trips to the store, I've got a core class figure I'm going to show off that I really like. I'm really upset that they're just going to get rid of it and instead package these things together. Because in the story, they're talking about, there's a 2025 Perceptor Ramhorn Rat Bat set, and I'm assuming it's going to be the Studio 86 Perceptor. I already have the Perceptor. I don't want to have to buy it again just to get Ramhorn and Ratbat.
But you don't have the color that they're going to do.
Ooh, it's going to be a slightly different shade of red. Ooh. Like, that's a whole different complaint I have, where they're re-releasing these box sets. Like, what's the one they're doing now where it's Jazz, Optimus Prime, and then Mainframe that came with the Arc? I want the Mainframe figure. I don't want to buy Optimus again.
Yeah, or the one with Hound.
Yeah, or the new Hound. Like,
yeah.
Anyway, I'll shorten it up. I like core class. I kind of see why it's been having problems. So,
Okay.
and I'm sad about it. Sad.
Well, Jeremy, what about yourself? I know between the two of us, you have a little bit more strict budgetary constrictions. I'm a little bit more free with the money that I've spent on my figures, and I get beaten by my wife because of it. You don't like to get beaten, so
Yeah.
you are a little bit more responsible than me. So
Hello,
the
police.
figures you buy, the figures you buy generally are a lot smaller. So you probably live a little bit closer to this core class a lot more. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I do try to slip things, like pre-order them and let future Jeremy deal with the fallout. But working from home, I get to also get the packages when they arrive, and sometimes they're never seen.
That's the secret.
Yeah,
that is the secret right there.
But with core class, I mean, I agree with what Dr. Pants was saying. I love most of the figures. They're usually really good, but the scale, like that Shockwave from Bumblebee movie, or I don't know, really, even when they do the Optimus Prime, it was a good figure, but the scale, it just seems like it's where they're just trying to throw every character in at this lower price point. It works really well for things like the tapes.
Mhm.
You know, release them, like the what was it, the Rumble Blue one, or Frenzy Blue, whatever they called it.
It was Rumble Blue.
Yeah. Great looking figure. Great use of the price point, but throwing in some of these other, like bigger characters in the smaller form factor, they might be great toys and stuff, but it's like a catch-all line where they're just trying to, they're trying to figure out what to do with the class, and they're just throwing everything at it.
Mhm.
Also, the price you said was $10. I think they're more like $13, $14 these days.
Mm-hmm.
At least where I've seen it. And I remember when they were like $8, and in my mind, I can't get past that. This should be an $8 figure.
I honestly can't remember, because most of the time I just grab what I want off the shelf, throw it in with the rest of the stuff I'm buying, and it's like, cool.
Yeah.
I also forgot to mention the Dinobot combiner they did in core class.
Yeah.
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think they should keep it around, do it as its own line, do like a whole line of minifigures, and then also use the class for like Studio Series 86 when you're doing the tapes or doing smaller characters. And I don't know. I imagine right now it will be going away for a couple of years as we're seeing it now. And then they'll try to bring it back in a few years, retooled with a better focus.
Yeah.
I mentioned this, I think last week or the week before, about the layoffs that they had. Some of this we could attribute to that, just like less people able to work on the brand. They're consolidating into the lines that they know do sell well, trying to optimize their processes. I can definitely see that. And then just doing these smaller figures in a box set where it narratively makes sense. Do a Voyager or Leader Soundwave, throw in a couple of core class tapes. That makes perfect sense. I mean, you might not like this Perceptor that's rumored, but Perceptor, Ramhorn, and Ratbat, makes sense for the scene in the movie.
I know.
So,
I worked so hard to get an 86 Perceptor, and now it's like, oh, look, we're going to do another release of it with more stuff you want.
Yeah.
You bastards.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll buy
it. They do.
Probably.
My opinion on core class has been, it's been a little funny over the years. For one, I enjoyed it with Studio Series, because Studio Series originally started out as deluxe Voyagers and leaders, and that was it. And then they said, "Oh, we're going to introduce core class." And I'm like, "What are you going to do in core class that's going to benefit Studio Series?" And then they said, "Oh, we're going to do a wheelie and we're going to do a spike." And yeah, the spike's bullshit, but whatever. And then we're going to do some of the tapes. And I'm like, "Okay, well, cool. You're using the core class to what it probably should be used for at that size." And then they said, "Oh, well, we're going to now do Bumblebee movie Shockwave and all this other stuff." And, and I'm like, no, bad Hasbro. This is not what it's supposed to be used for. You're bastardizing the class at this point. But when so originally I was really happy with Studio Series and their use of core class, and then they wrecked it. The core class in itself right now is I don't know. I think it's kind of a wasted line on the fact that I always wanted the core class to be a benefit to the rest of the line. So basically to do what it was originally doing for Studio Series. So back in, sound like a super old man at this point, but back in G1, when you had the larger figures, you didn't recreate that same character in a smaller class. It was just, you had the mini bots and then you had everybody else, right? That just kind of went up in size classes, right? They didn't have size classes at the time, but you know what I'm talking about, right? So they didn't have a large Bumblebee figure, right? They didn't have a small Optimus figure. They just had the one of each, right? And that's kind of the way I always wanted core class to act. If they're going to have a character in core class, be the one and only figure in that core, in that size class.
They are kind of giving too many options for one character. Which Optimus do you buy?
Right.
Oh,
Optimus is kind of that one where he's going to be in every class, and that's unfortunate. But
Starscream, Starscream.
Yeah, Starscream is another one, and we're Megatron and stuff, right? But the pretenders that you were talking about, right? So they started making pretenders, and they were putting them in core class. Okay, cool. I mean, I'm all for recreating the original pretenders, but pick a core class, pick a class, and let's do them, right?
Because they're currently spread over 3 classes.
Exactly. So let's just stick with one class and do them there. If you want to do them in core class, fantastic. Then you can have everybody who's collecting figures. They'll buy everything out of the core class because they want all those figures. Your pretenders are now small characters, right? And then they don't have to worry about, oh, well, this one's in deluxe and this one's a Voyager and this one's a core, and then they don't fit well together, right? This is all coming from the view of a collector, right? So yeah, it doesn't take into consideration the grandmother or parent that walks into the store and the kid's crying for a figure and they just say, "Oh, take this one because it's $15 or whatever," right? So it doesn't take into account that, right?
And that's what I was going to say is, like, I am fully on board with what you're saying, Daryl, because, like, there should not be a tiny Optimus Prime and then, like, an in-scale Optimus Prime. But Hasbro did it because Optimus Primes sell, and you can put, because most people, like, aside from collectors, kids are not gonna, they don't see kids going in and buying an Iguanus or a Bomb Burst or a Bumblebee movie Ravage or anything like that. They know they're going to want Optimus Prime, Megatron, Starscream, Soundwave, like the big name characters. But I think, and this comes down to another thing is, it just came out recently that the number one demographic for toy sales is adults. It's not kids anymore.
Yes. Yeah. Obviously. So, yes. We win. We're awesome.
Yeah. That was an excellent article I read. It had Dan from Secret Galaxy featured with his collection.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of G.I. Joe figures.
So I think that's the problem is Hasbro banked on kids wanting to buy these big name characters and not the collectors wanting the little name characters that they didn't think anybody would want.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I go and I when the core class was first hitting really hard in Kingdom, I believe. I think that's when they started officially core class. I saw Optimus Prime and Megatron constantly. No one bought that figure. I actually had a little trouble finding the fossilizer one, the first one, the black dinosaur. I forget what his name was. But and the Dinobots, I had trouble finding those when they were out. But I still saw all the normal ones. I saw Hot Rods and Skywarps constantly. Because they didn't sell. But it's sad to see it leave, but I'm with you. They should have dedicated something to that line. And they did it with the Dinobots. It was a nice alternative to the Studio Series ones because these ones did something different. They were combining Dinobots.
It's true, but again, they were also not the only. I mean, the Studio Series ones exist, right? That's the thing.
But these ones did something different because you are going to have two camps about the Dinobots. You're going to have the people who want the big, chunky Studio Series Dinobots, who want the original version of the Dinobots, and you're going to want those people that do want Volcanicus. Because some people think
you think there are people out there who are buying the Studio Series the core class Dinobots to keep them in individual modes?
No, but I'm saying they're buying them to make Volcanicus. Like that's what they want, those Dinobots for that. And to be perfectly honest, the Studio Series Dinobots are all $55. They're stupid expensive.
You're not gonna have little kids buying the higher price points.
Yeah. And I would have bought those Dinobots too if I wasn't so certain that Hasbro at some point is going to put out a Dino King.
Oh, they are. They've admitted it. It's going to be a set.
Where is it? I'm thirsting. I'm hungry for them. Where is it?
Unless they change the look of that combined mode, it's going to look ugly as hell. So,
a different paint job can do wonders.
A different paint job, and let's not forget that DNA Designs does some amazing upgrade sets that will completely change the look of a figure and make it better.
Yeah, yes, let's hope that. I'll spend $50 on a figure just to make it look different.
But I really think that they are going to refocus the line, and sometimes taking it away for a couple of years will kind of create demand in itself.
I mean, that did happen because Power of the Primes was the last line we had the Legends scale, and then we went to Siege and Earthrise, which didn't have anything. All we had were the little Target Master guys. And then in Kingdom is when they brought in the core class and kind of brought that size class back. So I would imagine they're probably just gonna they'll cut the line back for a while, and maybe in a couple of series we'll see something similar come back, whether it be, God, what have they called it in the past? Commander class, Legion scale, all that other crap. They'll just give it some other name.
Microbots.
I remember back in Transformers Prime, that's when they had the Legion scale and Commander class, and there were some really good figures in that line, and some of them ended up being extremely valuable on the secondary market because they were a really great figure, and B, extremely hard to find. But yeah, no, they some really great figures in that line. The I would and secondary to that were characters that never appeared in any other size class, which was really kind of cool. I know that that Commander class for like Transformers Prime, like Beast Hunters, that's the only class that you can find the Unicron Megatron or something like that. And it's a pretty highly sought after figure just because it's just the only way to get it. And there's a bludgeon in that line as well. And
didn't they do a combiner? Like, isn't there an Abominus based on core like Commander class figures?
There is. Yeah, there is. It's abominable.
And they repainted that into Infernicus for one of the movies.
They did. Yes, all black. Yeah. I remember that was a Toys R Us exclusive set. Yeah, so I was working at Toys R Us at the time. But yeah, no, it's there's some pretty cool stuff from those early lines, and I don't know. I'd like to see them kind of get back to that a bit. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with this line. I agree with you 100%. There will be a smaller line, a budget line per se. I just hope it stays transformable, because my fear is that they'll go to those dollar store, slightly better quality, but those dollar store style ones where it's literally just like a blind bag or something like that, where it's articulated in the arms and shoulders, or sorry, the shoulders and then the head or something like that, and it doesn't do jack.
There was that time where they did do some of those upscaling, those really, really cheap figures, and it did not work well.
The Authentics line that they were selling at like Walgreens and stuff, where they upscaled those.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
That being said, the shockwave from that line is very sought after,
because it's not bad.
Good.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah.
Every line has its winners.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think, is that our discussion topic?
I think so.
We got
comment below what you think.
Yeah. We got a lot out of that. I thought it was going to be a core class sized topic. Anyway,
you're terrible.
Yeah. Leave your feedback. Comment below, or transmissionspodcast.com/feedback, and we'd like to hear what you think about these rumors about core class going away. But for now, let's move on to trips to the store.
The Transmissions podcast will return after these messages.
And Trips to the Store is brought to you by TeePublic, which are our merch store on there. They make amazing shirts, hats, cell phone covers, tons of stuff. And we have some great designs. I'm wearing my new Bad Guy shirt. I don't think either of you are wearing a TeePublic shirt.
Nothing.
No.
But great shirts. They have sales usually about once a month. So if you keep an eye out, usually they'll do like a $16 t-shirt sale or something similar to that. But if you go to transmissionspodcast.com/TeePublic, we will get a little referral credit for anything you buy there, whether it's our stuff or anything that they might have from other creators. So check that out. And trips to the store this week, I think I'm going to start off because I only got one thing.
Those are rookie numbers. Pump that up.
Well, I've got a big trip coming up.
Yeah, I know.
This is an early birthday present to me, by me and the family. I got the Studio Series Gamer Edition Starscream.
Nice.
And looking forward to getting this up. I remember having the original like War for Cybertron Starscream when it came out, and it was fun. And I really I like what they did here. I really like the colors. I think the colors on this figure look really good. Mm-hmm. So looking forward to getting into this. So that is all I got. I guess, Daryl, you're next.
Okay. Well, I have a couple things here. One, because it's a number one, I bought it. It's Destro number one. So it's here. Yeah,
it was a really
we did a review
seller.
of this last week.
I saw in like the Bleeding Cool sales chart.
Was it?
It was in the top 10.
Okay. I have another comic book that I wasn't gonna show, but I figured since it was sitting at my feet, I don't think I've showed this in a really long time, like at least 8 or 9 years. So here it's due. This is a CGC graded comic that I've had for a long time. This is Robots in Disguise number 1. This is the RIA cover, and it is graded at a 9.8. So I've had this. This was given to me a long time ago. This was So it's
Andrew Griffith.
It's the Andrew Griffith cover. So it's the cover that it's a gatefold cover. So all the variants are all on this same cover. So they all kind of fold out. But yeah, so I have this one. So it's kind of cool. Nice. A very old CGC label for those who grade comics out there. I have a couple toys. This one here is a KB Toys exclusive.
What?
Name I haven't heard
This-
in a long time.
Megabolt.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, this is Megabolt from Robots in Disguise, and he's pretty cool. He is a giant head with legs. Those of you who don't know, this figure, if you remove the legs, you can put him on the head or on the body of a Fortress Maximus or what did he get called? Metro Titan? No. What was he called in RID?
Grand Maximus, I think.
Grand Maximus? Yeah, Grand Maximus.
I think.
You're right. Yeah.
Well, no, I think
you're
Fortress
right.
Maximus. I think that's what they call him.
No, they still called it Fortress Maximus in RID 2001. But
Okay.
but in the Japanese version, they called it something different.
But
Right. So
wasn't that originally like Beast Machines Megatron that just didn't make it into the line?
yeah, so it's a excuse me. I have another version of this figure, which is also a Robots in Disguise Megatron Megabolt. But I guess it may have been a figure that didn't make it into Beast Machines. But yeah, this is the KB Toys exclusive version, which is kind of green and blue, and the other one's kind of like a blue and red or whatever. Anyway, they're two giant heads on spider legs, which are kind of cool. And the last one is also an RID figure, so it was real RID week for me. And this one is Tow Line.
Nice.
An original Tow Line with his front grill and gun. So that's the money piece right there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, little Tow Line.
One of the few RID figures I do not have.
Yeah, he's a fun one. So yeah, this guy. I mean, these figures here were based off of the Beast Wars transformation scheme, the basic transformation scheme where you just kind of folded them up, locked it in,
Nice.
and you're done. So
Aren't they based off of like G2 molds that were canceled?
It was like the late Euro G1.
Yeah, and then they because that mold then got used in Machine Wars.
Yes,
as Wrecker Hook.
I think
so.
A lot of the
or Hubcap.
A lot of those and like the Decepticon figures were all reused molds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's he's fun to have. Yeah.
No, they're cool figures, and I kind of miss that. Like I miss that kind of one-step transformation.
This is what Core Class should be.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Should be a quick and easy figure that doesn't really do much else, but doesn't exist in any other size class. So yeah, but you're right. There's Robot Masters had a Wrecker Hook, and then there was a clear Wrecker Hook. So yeah, there was the Car Robots version of this was called Wrecker Hook as well. So
okay.
I don't know could you tell the difference between this and Wrecker Hook? I mean, they look identical. I'm just looking at a picture of the two.
Probably not, unless something about the stamping on it.
Yeah. I'm just looking at a picture of Wrecker Hook and they look identical. So maybe I have Wrecker Hook. I don't know. Probably not. But yeah. Anywho, that's what I got.
All right. Well, finishing up Dr. Pants.
Okay. I'm going to start off with something tiny because I said I had a Core Class figure. I don't think I've shown this off yet, but I bought it a while ago. This might have been while I was lost at sea or in prison. I don't remember which one. This is Core Class Studio Series 86 Ratchet. Another figure. They got more than one figure in the Studio Series, and this is not the size class it should be. But I bought this randomly, and I kind of love him. His transformation's a lot of fun, and he becomes the van without any parts forming, unlike the Earthrise one. So he does the same thing as the Voyager, but he is cool. He's pretty well designed. You know, can we focus? Yeah, a little bit. He's got his two little guns. He transforms in the full van, and just a fun little figure. It's a fun desk toy to play with. Next up, I was at Target, and once again, they were doing their discounted prices on Voyagers and Leader class. So I picked up a Leader I've been waiting to see if Hasbro will do a select version of, but they haven't yet. So I just ended up getting the Legacy Evolution Skyquake, which it is a fun figure. I don't have a whole lot of love for the Prime series. I wasn't really into it that much, but I was really hoping they would do the like Euro G1 Predator version of Skyquake, or maybe the Machine Wars Starscream of this figure. But nonetheless, I'm not upset I got this version. I still like it a lot. The transformation's cool, and he's, kind of big, chunky jet former. The minigun accessory is not as cool as the one that came with the Prime toy, and I'm a little disappointed about that. What I'm really disappointed with is this. This is the sword he came with. You see how tiny this is? How piddly this whole thing is? And here's the best part. It just flops around. It just flops around. This is stupid. This is junk. This is junk.
Well, DNA design might have an upgrade.
It's true. But the figure itself, Skyquake, and I'm guessing Dreadwind also, they're both pretty cool figures. Nice transformations. Really enjoy it. I have another Legacy United figure. This is Silverbolt. So this is the Beast Wars Fusor Silverbolt. I was a little not really feeling this guy. I kept saying, I'll just get the original. And then when I was looking at it to see how much it would cost me to get an original one that was complete and in good condition, it was about the same price. So it's like, I'll just get this one because he's a little bit bigger. The head sculpt is absolutely fantastic. The transformation's fun. And the only thing I'm missing is the spring-loaded wing gimmick, which I guess I can live with because, he's got posable wings now, which is kind of cool. Transformation is not what you would expect. It's nowhere near the original, which I was surprised with, but still cool little figure. He goes in the Beast collection. And speaking of Beast Wars, I have one last thing, and it's not a toy. I have a piece of original art from one of the Beast Wars comic artists, Winston Chan. This is original artwork of Beast Wars Second Moon.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Cool.
yeah, I got this, not this past year in March, but the year before. He does his March of Robots, and he does a bunch of art cards. And I snagged this because it's Beast Wars, and it's Beast Wars Second, and no one cares about it. But I do. I love Beast Wars. And I love Beast Wars Second.
That's so great to be a fan of a niche part of the fandom.
Mm-hmm. That might be why I love it, because no one else cares, and I feel seen then.
It's like, I got Bob Budiansky to do a sketch of Scrounge, and he's like, no one ever asked for Scrounge.
Yeah,
I need a Moon toy now.
I do. It's on my list of figures to get at some point. Got the taco tank, so we're good with that. I can move on to some other stuff.
I got one.
I know the taco tank's right there, by the way. You can see him right back there. But
You need me to show you my Moon?
Daryl, please don't move
Jeremy?
me.
No.
Jeremy?
I can shut this podcast down.
He's in control. But anyway, that's all I have for this week.
All right, awesome. Well, that will do it for trips to the store, and we're going to finish up with convention news.
We now return to the Transmissions podcast.
All right, for convention news, we got one thing, and it's that time of the year where we're starting to see the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives come out, and we're starting off with a really cute figure. This is a plush battle damaged Dinobot Sludge from Symbiote Studios. They've been doing, a bunch of these plushies, but this is the one. Sludge has got the crazy animation eyes, and I love that they're calling it battle damage. That's just great. But this doesn't really work so well in the plastic toys, but I think in the plush form it works great.
It's adorable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want this will be at the Symbiote Studio. It doesn't actually say here where they're going to be, but I assume they're going to have a booth. So look them up if you want to get it. And then they also do these online, I think, after the show. So check that out. And we're going to be getting more of these soon. San Diego Comic-Con's in July, I believe. So that, I think, is it for most of the show here. So before we go, we always like to thank our Masterpiece Donatrions, who are the people that support the show at the highest level. So thank you to John Forks, Good, Demon Tech 82, and Steve C. If you'd like to join them, you can also go to transmissionspodcast.com/support and join up. And thank you, Dr. Pants. Why don't you tell us what's been going on with Nerdstradamus?
Sadly, not a lot. The rest of us have been busy, but by the time this podcast goes out, there should be a new Nerdstradamus video that I made all by myself. I take you on a grand tour of the Pants Cave and show you all of my wonderful robot toys. So awesome. If you're interested on a collection tour, please go check that out. You can find all our videos at Nerdstradamus on YouTube. There's a link tree right below my name if you're watching on YouTube, and I'm sure there's a link in the show notes. I mean, I'm going to believe you guys because I don't have any control over it, and I trust you. I trust you.
If it doesn't show up, blame Charles.
Okay. I will do that. He's not here, so it's his fault.
Very much so.
It would be his fault regardless. But yeah, I'll make sure the link is in the show. Awesome. And Daryl, thank you for leading us in that great discussion on Core Class. I honestly did not think we were going to get as much out of it as we did.
You gotta have some faith, man.
Yeah.
Have some faith.
We love to talk about robots.
Yeah, but y'all like to talk about the big bots.
We still have opinions on the little ones just because we like the big ones. I still like the little ones. The little ones still matter.
I know.
But, I just really like big ones. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I like some big ones too.
That's what she said. And with that, thanks everyone for watching and listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Later.
All right. And for those of you watching live, we have Void Rivals number 10 in alt mode. So no live stream of alt mode this week.
Oh, man.
But completely non-spoiler review. I think this might be an issue that Daryl might like. At least better than the G.I. Joe book.
Very much better than a G.I. Joe book.
Yeah.
I hope so.
All right. But see you guys next week.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool Transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our Transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.